Hi everyone, this is Stacy with R&R Ranch. I have Handsome and Ellie with me, and today we want to talk to you about the background of the horses' names, because a lot of people ask us, why did we name a certain horse a certain name? So I'm going to try to go through them as best that I can, and give you the history, if there is one, on the name. I also have to keep check on what these two are doing, because Handsome shouldn't be playing, and so if Ellie stays put, Handsome should be okay.
And when this video goes up tomorrow, what's tomorrow?
Tomorrow's Handsome's birthday.
Handsome.
So, okay, so let's start.
First off.
Yeah, I'm just going to go down the aisle. So, Stanley and M, their backgrounds are, M is, her given name is Emma, and we just thought that given the picture that we saw of her from auction, she was so sad looking, and we wanted to just give her a really beautiful name, and so Emma was the name, and she fits it perfectly. She's quiet, she's soft, she's peaceful, she's everything that the word Emma conjures, and we call her M now for short and have for a long time. Stanley is her baby, and come here, Handsome. And Stanley is actually named after my father, who is a blessed memory, and his middle name was Stanley, and so we have Stanley. That's a great name. Bambi and Milton are both from the Humane Society. Bambi is just like every little girl's quintessential pony, and her name at the Humane Society was Dusty, and we're like, that's not staying. And we just thought Bambi was super cute, and a super cute name for a super cute little pony like her. So that's her. Milton was, his name was Brownie, if I remember correctly, right?
Yeah.
Isn't it Brownie? His name was Brownie, and we're like, nope. And we had actually just met someone that we ended up having a really nice relationship with down in Florida, a very, very nice elderly gentleman, and his name was Milton. And so we thought that's a perfect name for him, Milton. Let's see, who's next to them?
Ella and Sophie.
Oh, Ella and Sophie. So Ella and Sophie, the two chestnut mares. Ella is just a name that we just like, and so we gave her that. Sophie has a sweet history, because when we were going to buy both girls from a field, we were only going to get Ella, and I told my husband that I am going to be very sad for the other mare that is always by her but never comes to the fence, and my husband said, you're going to have to get both horses, and he said, I'm going to tell you what to name the other one. And I said, what? He said, name her Sophie. I said, okay, I love that name. I wanted to name Belle Sophie. And I said, well, why do you want me to name her Sophie? And he said, well, this way you won't have to make a Sophie's choice. So we have Sophie. And then in the next stall is Banks, Molly, and Eleanor. Molly, her name was like Malika or Malika.
Yeah, Malika.
Malika?
Yeah.
When we got her, and we weren't thrilled with that, so we just thought Molly is a super cute, fun name. I knew an Irish setter when I was growing up named Molly. We like to have things that we have good associations with on names.
We like human names.
We do like human names. And Banks is from a character in our favorite movie, Father of the Bride. Steve Martin played George Banks. And so Banks is Banks. And Eleanor is actually a name. Belle probably doesn't even know this. She probably wouldn't
I don't.
like it if I told her why.
Oh, no.
One of my aunt's name is Aunt Ronnie, but her real name, her given name, is Eleanor. And I just, again, like to keep things that I love. And
I thought it was just because we love the name Eleanor.
No, I do love the name Eleanor, but there is a reason behind it. So that's how Eleanor got her name. Let's see, Mr. Chocolate. This is probably the only name that I wish we had changed.
I love it.
Differently, I know you like it, but his name was Junior when we adopted him from the Humane Society. And we're like, gosh, he looks like a little chocolate bar. And there he is, Mr. Chocolate.
But we call him a bunch of different names.
We do call him a bunch of names. He gets a bunch of really cute names. I'm not going to mention them because I don't want any of you to use them because we may use them in the future. And then Chloe, her name was Chloe. We kept that.
Yeah, but
like a Chloe.
Well, they named her Chloe, the Humane Society, because her feet were so bad when she got to the Humane Society, and it reminded them of like Chloe shoes, the designer brand. Because she had such bad feet, so they were like, "Oh, let's name her after a shoe brand."
I never knew that story.
Oh, well, there it is.
Okay, so that's Chloe, and then next to them is Sherman and Miss Mackenzie. Their original names when we bought them was Bonnie and Clyde, and we're just not like real funsy kind of people like that. So so we changed that to Sherman, whom I've always loved that name. I wanted to name Sheldon, our dog, I wanted to name him Sherman, and the kids didn't like that. So he's Sherman, and Miss Mackenzie,
we called the bun Miss Mackenzie.
Yeah, we called our first bun Miss Mackenzie, like as her nickname. Her real name was Lolly Ann. Anyway, so that was Miss Mackenzie, seemed like a great fit. So that's those guys. Lucy and Betsy, the babies, are just cute names that we've always liked. Sailor
is a flop.
It is a flop. We would name him something different, but we actually gave him that name. What was his name?
Skippy.
His name was Skippy when we
Skippy.
bought him. We named him Sailor. He should have been a Henry. I will say that. Lots of people have Henry, so
that's fine.
He should have been a Henry.
Tansy.
Tansy was Tansy. We bought her. She was 15 when we got her. So
yeah, but I also think Tansy is a flower.
I don't know about that.
Oh, okay.
But anyway,
I thought it was.
Tansy kept her name. Martha is, I mean, we just love the name Martha. It's like Martha Stewart. Yes, she served a little jail time, but she's a really great person, and we like her stuff. So we named Martha just because we like that name.
Booker, baby.
Booker is because he looked so much like Martha that we thought they looked like bookends, and so we shortened that and we called him Booker.
Banks, or no, what's the newest?
Baker. Baker, we really struggled with coming up with the right name.
Yeah.
We wanted to name him Wilbur, as in Charlotte's Web, Wilbur. But the more that we thought about it, we hadn't gotten him yet. I thought, Wilbur is such kind of a dumpy name. And I didn't want to box him into that. Like, he was this really sad sack little horse that we were getting, and I didn't want to box him into the name Wilbur. So then...
Can you call Ellie?
We were going to call him Chance, and then Chance didn't seem kind of like the right fit. We were going over so many names in our kitchen, like that Saturday night.
And then we didn't want to just pick one. We were like, it needs to come.
It needs to just come.
Yeah.
And then my son and his girlfriend were in the kitchen. They were baking cupcakes. And we're like,
let's call him Baker.
Let's call him Baker.
And it's perfect.
It is.
Yeah.
It's perfect. And so that's how Baker got his name. The girls, Poppy, Millie, and Toasty, they were all named different names when we got them from the Humane Society.
Can you put it? Oh, never mind.
We love the name Poppy, and so we started there. We love the name Millie. We switched her name to Millie. And Toasty, I have to say, we actually stole from the Peeps Foundation. They have a Toasty, and we love that name.
And we got bad karma.
And we did get bad karma because she's the worst horse. She tries to still bite us.
Yeah.
But that's how they got their names. And that's the horses. I think that's all of them.
Yeah. Well, okay.
Okay, so then we'll just finish up real quick with the dogs. Ellie. Ellie was a tough one to name because, again, we like to have names that mean something. We really don't like to just pull them out of the air. So the female name that I kind of had in reserve, Belle also wanted to use for her, and I wanted to use it if I have a female dog. So then we had to come up with an alternate name for her. And that was Ellie, and it fits her to a T.
It does. The other name that we love, it doesn't match her personality. It would match more like Lila.
Yeah.
More calm, like
Yeah.
Ellie.
It would match handsome, if he was a girl.
Totally, but
Yeah.
Ellie is also Helly. So.
Ellie. Handsome is, his name is a story that I'm actually putting online next week. He is named after our one of our Shelties that we lost last April, whose name was Bandit, but we always called him Handsome, and that is where Handsome got his name. Lila is a beautiful name. She's a beautiful girl. We actually had a portrait artist that did portraits of my kids when they were little, and her name was Lila, so good connection there. Annie. I mean, it's a cute name, and Annie is the girl from Father of the Bride, and so we named her Annie. She's 10.
She's hanging out in the window right there.
Sheldon. Sheldon is, just like the kids didn't want Sherman, but they were good with Sheldon. I know Sheldon is on the Big Bang Theory. We really aren't Big Bang Theory fans, but it is there. So we call him Sheldon Bing, which happens to be Chandler Bing's middle name on Friends. Nan, the cat, we've just always called her Nanny. Nanny is just a cute, fun, sweet name. We love that name. Franklin is Franklin because my oldest son, his middle name is Franklin, and I thought it was a fitting name. Walter was a special.
India.
Okay, so Walter was a name that actually I had in the back of my head that I wanted to have a couple of geese roaming the property, and I actually wanted to have a Walter and a Martha, and so we never did, but we did name Walter, and I know it was kind of a formal name, and so when we got Franklin, I wanted kind of a name that would be paired pretty evenly with that, and it happens to be my son's middle name, my oldest son's middle name. I'm not going to go into the birds' names, and I think that covers everybody.
I think so.
So that's the names. That's where we got them. We have literally, if I were to pick up my phone and just scroll through my notes, I have a list of names that we always keep on reserve, and we're always thinking of fun names, and we're always thinking of names that we're like, oh my gosh, why didn't we name them this, or why didn't we name them that?
Or like, why don't we ever think of the cute names?
Yeah, why don't we ever think of the cute names? But I do think that we have some very fun names, and that's part of the excitement of whenever we do get a horse. We're like, oh, what are we going to name it? So that's it. That's the names.